Good evening, baby G's. Welcome to my second video. And it's gonna be a little different than last time. It's gonna be a little more of a chat. So I'm glad you're here. But tonight we're gonna talk about getting your spark back and ways that can help you do that. Because as someone personally who works a 9 to 5, I find it very easy to lose
the spark.
Or, the little je ne sais quoi, So what inspired this video is recently, every Wednesday, my friend comes over for the summer I turn pretty. My friends come over. And last week, one of my friends was here, and 5 minutes into her being here, the power went out. And since the power went out, my phone died. We luckily had already made dinner. But there wasn't as much to do, and we obviously couldn't watch our show. And it turned into such a fun night. We ended up reading The Shining by the candlelight in my room, and it was very dark, very spooky, and so much fun, and it felt so good to disconnect. My only worry was about work in the morning, since my phone had died, and I needed an alarm. But long story short, it was so much fun, and something so simple really goes a long way. It makes you feel more intrinsically satisfied than how I feel when I doom scroll, and how most people feel when they doom scroll, which is a problem for sure. And I played on my Switch. I had a little moment to meditate. It was so nice, and the power did eventually come on, so our groceries were good. But having a night like that really made me think a lot about how much I depend on my phone, because my screen time, like most people's, is up there. It's up there. So that's what the inspiration was for this video, and I think it's a great place to start. And that brings me to my first way of getting your spark back, which is having a power outage / unplug night. Highly recommend. It just helps you center yourself, because I personally get very disillusioned by being on social media for so long, and it really changes how your dopamine works. So when you are forced to literally do something the opposite of what you're used to, or the easiest and the path of least resistance, having to actually read for once, or actually not scroll on your phone, or have any part of your night have to do with your phone, is so nice. And it's really that easy, and it's really that damn phone. And I think something that helps me out to do that is just to leave my phone a few floors below me, or hide it, or have someone else hold it for you, and just have a night with nothing of that sort. No TV, reading. It's great. You can have a night like this. Very cozy. You can just read by some candlelight. It's a little spooky, but highly recommend, and it makes you connect more with yourself. My second way of bringing your spark back is journaling, and heavy on journaling. I've been a little bad about it lately, but I have one journal, one for scrapbooking and more my creative side, and one just for getting my words out there, and that's this one. It's a newer edition, because I think a lot of people think about this when they journal, that especially as a woman, that someone is going to find it and read it, and you have an audience. And that's the purpose of having a very relaxed journal. Having a journal just to get your thoughts out and talk with yourself versus someone else helps you look further into your brain and how it works, and reading it back and noticing the headspace you're in. I have had quite a few entries where I'm in a bad headspace, and I just get it out there, and then being so negative makes you want to stop being negative. You read your entry, and it's very enlightening. You don't want to be that dark cloud, and I think it helps you recognize your emotions better when you put it on paper and you can see them. I highly recommend it. And if you can have a tiny little journal, or one in the back of your car, definitely recommend. Probably going to journal later tonight, but it just helps you get your thoughts out, even if they're really mundane. My third way of getting your spark back is connecting with your inner child. And I feel like this one's a given, especially in this day and age. I find it very interesting how a lot of teens are growing up to be more mature or grown, and I feel as if people in our generation or older Gen Zs try and heal their inner child a lot, and it's very interesting to me. That's besides the point. I think connecting with your inner child is such a great thing for yourself, and it makes the world feel way less serious, you know? Playing on your Switch, which I'm not saying you have to be a child to do, but it makes you feel like one because, at least personally, I've had a lot of memories of playing games growing up. So I've been on my Switch a lot lately, and I'm trying to get back into just Zelda, any games, or Pokemon, like on my older devices that are even less connected to the internet. You know, it's very nice to just play something on your own, spend some time with yourself, and it helps switch the doom scrolling. It helps switch what your dopamine would rather prefer, something more engaging versus something more instant. And I think it's great, especially on this type of unplugged night. Sorry, it's starting to get really dark outside. So for my next way of bringing and getting your spark back, at least a way to help, is going to the gym, physical activity. It's really that simple. I know it's sometimes hard for some people to say, how can you not get 10K steps, or how can you get 10K steps? I struggle with that a lot, and actually getting there sometimes feels very unobtainable because you either wake up super early or sacrifice the majority of your night. And I think doing little walks at work helps, at least on your lunch break, and then eating your lunch at your desk helps me a lot. But most of all, going to the gym. Going to the gym, staying consistent with one thing. If you can stay consistent with one thing, you will definitely get better at it. And you will notice differences. That's with any hobby. But going to the gym, I have been a little bad lately because I've seen my friends most nights, but going to the gym consistently has been the best thing I've done this year. Because I haven't focused mostly on my habits, it's mostly, or more hobbies. The gym has been the most consistent thing. And really, it's so nice. Even if you don't feel like going, you don't have to do a lot, but just the act of being there, it makes you feel so accomplished. It feels so accomplished, and you feel like you get all the bad ebbs and flows, I guess, out of your system. Bad juju. It's very nice. For my fifth way to get your spark back, and I guess more to connect with yourself and how you think, I feel, again, social media.
Lots of groupthink going on there, I think. I feel that way. It's more of like a mob mentality being on social media.
And it feels so good to think something for yourself instead of seeing someone else's opinion piece about it. And it doesn't even have to be any sort of nonfiction, but reading a book, starting a new book on a night just by yourself or wherever you are, starting it first thing in the morning, starting a new book will make you feel happier. It depends, like, definitely research a new book. My Goodreads is going crazy right now. I have a lot I want to read, and I need to allocate more time to it, but reading a book feels 10 times better. I think it's a lot of people struggle with getting the energy to do it, and it really doesn't take any energy to do it. It's just about changing your mindset. And I think I'm currently reading ACOTAR, and it's so much fun, and I just love a fantasy world because you actually get to imagine things yourself, you know, instead of AI imagining something for you. I think just creating the characters in your mind gets your gears working, and it makes you have more of an image of yourself or a way you see things. And I think it's very important to having a personal spark. My sixth or fifth way to help get your spark back, I think getting more into your hobbies. Again, with the gym, I wouldn't say the gym is a hobby, but being consistent. I know it's a very popular book, but Atomic Habits helped me a lot a few months ago, and it makes you think about the habits that you keep. And I think having hobbies, you know, no one is inherently good at something without trying it. you truly don't know till you try. And I think the hardest part about a new hobby is sucking at it at first, and it's okay to stick at a new hobby. I think it's hard at first adjusting what you normally would do in place of this hobby, you know, because you usually spend a certain amount of time on your phone or a certain amount of time sitting on the couch. I have no idea what you do, but I think starting a new hobby is one of the best things you can do yourself, or at least engage yourself creatively at least once a day. And I think everyone can work on that. I can work on that. I'm currently trying to learn how to DJ. I know, lots of DJs out there, but I have a deck, so why not get better at it? And I'm actually DJing tomorrow. And I think being also forced or having an accountability buddy to help you with these hobbies is so great. It's so great. If you have someone like, I need to work on this tonight, check up on me, you know? Just having a hobby to work on, especially, I think one of the most humbling things ever in the world is being at a work event, or you're someplace where you're doing an icebreaker and they ask what your hobbies are
and you have nothing.
I have felt that way a million times in my life, because I'm not saying you have to do something every day for it to be a hobby, but consistently or frequently doing something can make it a hobby. So try and create more instead of consume more. I find that's what I'm trying to slowly work on. And it's very rewarding.
Okay, now it's getting really dark.
But one of my last suggestions for getting your spark back, and this is for people who have a little more money in their bank right now, because me personally, I don't. But when I have the chance, I'm taking it. And that is booking a trip. I know that one is pretty obvious, but if you have the means to, I suggest you do. I am going on a trip soon, and I think it's so nice to be somewhere else and disconnect from your 9 to 5. You know, it makes you feel like working makes you feel like that's all you are to the world sometimes. And I'm not saying that to be depressing, but there's so much more worlds out there to see than your computer. And I know that's common sense and obvious, but I have a travel bug, if you couldn't tell. So getting your spark back, going somewhere new, experiencing new things, it opens your mind. It feels so great. And if you have the means to, I highly recommend. And also, speaking of these trips, they don't have to be crazy across the world trips, but even like a weekend getaway, a one night alongside the beach, just to get you more inspired to change your environment, to help change your mindset. You know, just being somewhere new can help ignite your spark. You know, it can help you have other perspectives. I think it's so great. One of my last ways of helping get your spark back is not only trying new things, but listening to new things. And listening to new music is so much fun, and just listening to a new album, it can help you feel inspired creatively. And it's just exciting, you know? If you have a lot of time to fill and not much to do, that is one of the easiest things you can do. Just listen to new music. So
Oh my god, it's so dark in here. Holy crap.
listening to a new album, nothing beats it. Especially when you listen to more music and you have a collection of artists, when you know their albums are coming out over a period of time. I'm really looking forward to Sophia Stell's, or Steele, it's definitely Stell's new album coming out soon. And just having, or Natanya's single coming out. She's really good. Highly recommend. But yeah. Moved locations because it's, oh my god, scary. Move locations because it's so dark out now. But it's so cute. Such a nice night. Like, I love August and the end of summer. Okay, sorry, I put my hair back because I was getting a little overstimulated. But yeah, those are my suggestions on how to get your spark back. I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, especially us young adults adjusting to a crazy world right now and crazy economy as well. So working a 9 to 5, you feel like you lose yourself a bit, and it's a big life change, and happens in all walks of life, obviously. Also, this is my little friend here, so cute. Just doing something creative, and I think I really love the phrase create more, consume less, and I think it definitely takes some steps to get that way, but to get it more instant, helping like deleting social media, spending time away, deleting it for a week if that it works for you, or permanently. To connect with more yourself personally, you need to disconnect. Not saying it's mandatory, but it will help. Definitely. It is that damn phone. I saw something that stuck with me really recently, and I saw it on Pinterest, but it stuck with me for a minute. And it is that doubt kills more dreams than failure does. And that is such a thought-provoking quote. I think about it all day. But just having doubt in your creative abilities or what you're capable of, I think limits a lot of us. And failing and knowing you fully failed, putting in your best effort, is much more rewarding than not even trying. Like right now, I normally wouldn't do something like this, but having doubt in myself that I wouldn't do something like this is worse than this completely flopping. Who knows? But at least I tried. So I think just try it anyways. Try new things.
As much as you can. I'm gonna take my own advice when it comes to new food, because I'm a picky eater. Hell yeah.
Hope you came out of here with something, and thanks for spending a cozy little Friday night with me. And yeah, and let me know if you guys have any other things that helps ignite your spark. I need some ideas. I'm feeling uninspired a little lately, so I want to try something new. So yeah, but thanks for watching, and please subscribe, or if you feel like it. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week for a new video. Alright, see you soon.